Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 2021 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Cancer. How will Cancer be affected by the September 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Okay. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Lovers, which is Gemini energy. If we're born on the cusp with Gemini, or we have Gemini within our natal chart, that's going to be coming through very powerfully at our root. We also have the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. And if we have Taurus within our natal chart, that's going to be coming through very powerfully again at our root. Then we have the 10 of Earth, which I love that depiction, and the 4 of Earth, which is really quite beautiful because the 4 of Earth for me is vampiric energy card. And so here we're learning how to stand fast and to stand firm within ourselves after vampiric energy, after heartbreaks and hurts and doubts and fears and stagnation. It then moves us to our emotional self, which is really quite intense here. And we have the 9 of Pentacles, which is beautiful. We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Magician, and we have the Fool. Holy guacamole. This is going to be a time where we need to follow our hearts. I mean, in Cancer, that's not anything new for you. You need to follow your heart just in and of itself. But to be able to embrace blessings, to be able to move forward, to be able to jump over hurdles and doubts and fears, this is where your success is. I mean, you have 2 major arcana cards here. You have the 9 of Pentacles, which is the minor arcana, I want to say wish card, but that's also the 9 of Cups. But yeah, it's like a wish fulfillment right here, most definitely, that leads you to a gift from God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, and that happens within our hearts. And this is also very powerful because the full moon on the 20th of September is in Pisces. And with this full moon in Pisces, there's a sense of the spiritual and the practical needing to be balanced. There's a sense of finding this harmony within the heart and how the heart moves forward in the waking world. Then we have the public arena. We have Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy. If we have Sagittarius, again, within our natal chart, that's going to be coming through very powerfully within our public self. And then we have the 5 of Wands. Now, this is fighting for the sake of fighting. So we have to be just very mindful that we don't enter into the chaos of the waking world with the sense of fighting, with the sense of doubt, with the sense of fear, with the sense of chaos, because that's the way it's always been done. We've always entered into it with chaos. This is a time where we're like, no more. There's power, there's purpose, there's prosperity, there's intention here that we need to embrace. Now, let's talk a bit about this full moon. This full moon is, as stated before, is in Pisces. And so it says balance spirituality and practicality, balance the spiritual world and the waking world. Now, what happens with the full moon, well, Pisces is ruled by the planet Neptune. And this brings beauty in the spiritual realm, beauty at a spiritual level. We are all going to be more inclined towards the spiritual, towards the esoteric, and however that encapsulates and is incorporated within our lives. Now, this also holds sway over our dreams. Neptune also holds sway over our dreams. So what we dream about, what we dream for, as we embrace it during this time, yes, it has to have a spiritual layer, a spiritual power, a spiritual voice, but it also is going to be that this time lets us slip into our dreams with a bit more reality to them, with a bit more intensity. Now, this can be a bit overwhelming, and this is also going to be a time where it'd be really easy, and we might really like to just slip away from the tension and the trouble of the world by bad coping mechanisms, by addictions, by doubts, by fears, by the negativity that we have used in the past to take us away from the insight, the veil reveal of the present. This is going to be a time very much, I'm seeing the High Priestess here, where the veil is lifted from the eyes. And it's like, this is my power, this is my intention, this is my integrity, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is how I'm moving forward. And so here, as the veil is lifted, as doubts and fears fall away, or as we start to see things as they truly are, not as we simply want them to be, it can be overwhelming. And we could want to use old escapisms to be able to deal with the situation. So just be mindful of that during this time. Now, this is also where we become the most spiritual and compassionate, when Neptune comes into play. And that's absolutely beautiful, but our boundaries are at the thinnest. That's why people who are ruled by Pisces are astoundingly sensitive and have to learn how to balance that sensitivity. If we have Pisces within our natal chart, well, this moon is just screaming to them, calling upon our heart in a way that is maybe overwhelming, but is profoundly beautiful and profoundly intense. And it also brings us to a time where we need to clear our energy vibration. We need to clear away the negativity and say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be ruled by this. I'm not going to be brought down by this. I'm not going to be in this negative space. I need to rise above. And that's going to be really imperative in our public arena self. Now, with the astrological side of this full moon, we have the fact that the full moon always brings our family, friends, and relationships into focus, because the sun is opposite the moon. These are opposing factors. And this also makes us very aware of the opposing factors of our lives, the things that we feel as if we're pulled in two different directions for, or the things that we feel don't really have a synchronicity to them within our own lives. Now, this can cause energy drain and a bit of anxiety, because during this time we just want everything to fall into harmony, just to fall into balance. We're already dealing with the opposing factors of the spirituality and the practicality, and we just want everything to be harmonious and intentional. Not everything is going to be, and we have to come to the fact that we need to be okay with that, especially during this time. This is also a time where our intentions and our emotional awareness is at its peak. So our intuition, our intentions, what we desire, our awareness is at its peak during the full moon and at every full moon. Now, during this full moon, we also have Mercury trine Jupiter, which is amazingly powerful. It brings us optimism, generosity, good luck, and good news. So during this time, as we're balancing ourselves, as we're moving things forward, it really seems at moments like everything is working, everything is falling into place. Our instincts are on point during this time, and it's going to be our greatest power to be able to see clearly as to what we want for the future, and as to how to align things to get everything to fall perfectly into place to have the future that we desire. This is a great time for networking and socializing and really setting up those plans, looking at things that need to be addressed and saying, you know what, I'm going to conquer it. I'm going to move forward. Now, with Mercury squared Pluto, this is where a little bit of a wrench can be thrown into things, because this is a more difficult energy to deal with, much more so than Mercury trine Jupiter. This brings us into deep thoughts. This makes us deep thinkers, which we can think is absolutely awesome. But it means that we want to absolutely fall down the rabbit hole. And we want to do so easily and intensely and powerfully and purposefully and passionately. So we can very much be lost into things. We could also fall down the rabbit hole in things that drain away our energy vibration, lower our energy vibration, bring us into a place of chaos, of doubt, of fear, of negativity, of hurt, and of pain. So just be mindful of that. We're seeking intense interactions. We actually don't want the frilly or the foofy. We want everything to be intense, and if it's not intense, we want to look at it and kind of mock at how superficial it is. So be aware of this energy. Also know that these energies last for 2 weeks after the full moon, because that is where the power of the full moon still holds its prominence. So again, we have to be very mindful of not going down the rabbit hole, of doing our research, doing our work, knowing that this is a fantastic time to be detail-oriented, to really get everything right on point. But we have to be mindful not to lose ourselves. With Jupiter semi-sextile Pluto, here comes the energy that softens Mercury squared Pluto and aligns us more with the success of Mercury trine Jupiter. This brings powerful spiritual and personal growth to us, and also the ability to create wealth. We're also going to see our professional desires starting to advance. We're starting to see ourselves moving forward in a way that maybe we hadn't thought, maybe we hadn't anticipated, maybe we didn't think could be a part of our world. It moves us to the new moon in Libra, which is on the 6th of October, which says a new romantic cycle begins. And I'm going to be doing a separate video on the new moon. But this is a time where we find balance and we find a new alignment with beauty in life. It doesn't have to mean that a new romantic cycle, as in new relationships, new personal sexual relationships, begin. What it means is that a new love of life, a new beauty, a new prosperity, a new abundance starts to bloom forward. And this leads us to the full moon in Aries. A fiery climax approaches. This is a sense of intensity, of focus, of understanding. This is aligning us to really charge forward into the waking world with determination, focus, and insight. Now, at our root, we have the Lovers. This is falling in love with life again. This is falling in love with our inspiration, with our desires, with our hopes and our dreams. Now, what we did skip is the energy we have to be mindful of. So let's see what that energy is here. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And it's the Chariot. It's us. So we're represented by the Chariot in the major arcana, by the Cups in the minor arcana. We have to be mindful of getting out of our own way. We have to be mindful of having the subconscious and the conscious come together and really finding harmony within ourselves. We're also going to be very drawn to people who take either our conscious view or our subconscious view. And they can almost, at this time, what I'm seeing here is they can be very polarizing. And so during this time, we need to move forward with an intensity of thought, with an understanding of self, knowing that we're going to be drawn to very polarizing ideas and ideals, and not to let them rip us apart, not to let them bring us in one direction or another. We need to gather more, learn more, understand more, and this is not a time for taking sides. So that's going to be very important for us. Then we have our chakra energy here. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And this is soul's healing, which makes perfect sense because the heart chakra, the heart aspect of ourselves, is coming through so powerfully. This is the soul chakra located 6 inches above our crown. This is healing, beautiful energy raining down on us, opening our hearts, opening our souls, opening ourselves. And again, it aligns us with this falling in love with life, falling in love with our beauty, with our intention, with our desire, with what we want for ourselves and what we don't. And this is also going to be a time where we have to be really cognizant of not following something just because it looks pretty, just because we think that everybody will ooh and ah over it. Because here you have the man being drawn in by the siren, but under the water, she's a skeleton and there's a skull. Under the water are her victims. And so here, it's very much being drawn into the lure, the promise of something glorious that doesn't have anything to back it. It's very much like being told if you are just pretty enough, you will find happiness within life. That's not true. That is not true. Sometimes getting things improved, yes, does help our confidence, but we have to look at the underlying issue to things to be able to see, how do I move forward? How do I embrace my happiness? How do I live within my own body and know that I have peace there? And so I use that as an example, just be pretty enough, because we're bombarded with that every single, moment of every single day, it seems like. And so here we're starting to find that what I have to align myself with is what I love. What I have to align myself with is my passion and my interest and my integrity of thought and wisdom of inspiration, and the words that I surround myself with, and the words that I, say to myself when nobody is looking and nobody is hearing but me. What is calling me? Is it to impress another person, or is it to align myself with my proper path? And it brings us to the Hierophant. It brings us to one of the most powerful cards in all of the tarot, because we have to remember that in medieval times, the Hierophant was the Pope. The Hierophant represented the Pope, and that was the most powerful faction you could have. The Pope made the laws, could bring down kings and queens and emperors and empresses, and did at times. And so here we're looking at a power that is above reproach, though not above corruption. And so here we are looking at the power within ourselves, which is above reproach, but not above corruption. How are we moving towards our love? How are we moving towards what we desire? What are we calling forward? And what do we need within our lives? As we embrace this, as we state this, as we see this, as we understand our path forward, we see ourselves more clearly, more openly, and more honestly. As we do this, we also look at what is my tradition? What is right for me? We're not talking about following strict orthodoxies here, unless we want to. What we're talking about is saying, what is it within myself that if I go against it, I go against me? I go against my passion, I go against my beauty, I go against my understanding, I go against the very essence of who I am. This is also saying, what am I married to? This is the Major Arcana marriage card. It's not who am I married to? What is it that, again, if I break this sacred covenant, I go against a vow that is intrinsically important to me? What is it that I need within my life to move me forward towards success, happiness, prosperity, and abundance? It moves us to the Ten of Earth. This is prosperity that lasts for generations. This is being able to forge a new path. We have the mushrooms here, and I don't know if you guys have ever studied mushrooms or watched anything or read anything about mushrooms. The microcosm, there we go, that's the word, of a mushroom is astounding. They are a world in and of itself. They actually speak to each other, send messages through the forest. It sounds like a fairy tale. It sounds like instead of breadcrumbs, Hansel and Gretel left behind mushrooms. And that is beautiful and enchanting, but also kind of true. And so here, also astoundingly true, based in science. So here we're seeing a path coming forward that we hadn't anticipated making for ourselves. We're seeing a way that leads us towards prosperity, but also opens up a path for new people, opens up a path for new generations. How do I walk forward in this? And how do I embrace my desire, my passion, my insight, and myself? How do I move forward towards what I need, what I want, and what I love within my life? What is my prosperity? What is the wealth that lasts for generations? And it doesn't have to be financial wealth. It can be something that we value as much as money, really coming into play, really building our pocketbooks forward, really, well, not only our pocketbooks, but also our courage, our intention, our determination, saying, yes, I can walk this. This is my voice. This is who I am. It might be quirky. It might be different, but this is me. And it brings us to the Four of Earth. The Four of Pentacles, which in the Rider-Waite-Smith is the stagnation of energy. It is my vampiric energy card. It's saying I cannot have the flow of wealth come through me. I am grounded to this world, stagnant. And so here it's saying I'm breaking the stagnation. I'm grounded to this world, yes, because I am stone. But stone is formed, though slowly. The changes that we're going to see coming forward towards our prosperity, towards our abundance, towards what we desire, happen slowly, but happen powerfully. It's like a stone being carved away. When a stone falls from a mountainside, or a big chunk of the mountain falls away, it is noticed, it is powerful, it shakes the earth. And that's what's going to be happening here as we release negativity that has held us in financial, creative, prosperous stagnation. It moves us to the heart, to the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is, again, prosperity, success, and seizing the moment, not looking at the future and saying it has to be huge. If it's not, absolutely spectacular for the days, the weeks, the months, the years to come, it can never be. And so here, with the Nine of Pentacles, we see our prosperity guiding us forward. We see ourselves looking at the moment and saying, I know there's going to be a lot of hard work to come because, calling in a harvest, harvesting a harvest is intense, but this is the harvest moon. This is the moon that's telling us, oh, that's so brilliant. Spirit just, shared that connection. This connection of, this is the harvest, this is my bounty, this is my prosperity, this is my abundance, this is what I'm calling forward into my life. It brings hardships to come. It brings, things that we have to figure out. Absolutely. It brings a new romantic cycle, a new way of dealing and interacting with life on the 6th of October. It brings a fiery climax approaching, something coming to a head in a way that we're not expecting or anticipating. But it's saying here, enjoy the power, the passion, and the alignment of prosperity, because we're just going from one earth card to the other until we get to the magician, until we get to the person who claims all the gifts, all the wealth, all the abundance, and then being able to move forward with it. So this is a time to say, you know what? We're not worrying about the future infinitum. We're planning for the future. Yes, that's just smart, but we're not worrying about it. We're not obsessing about it. It moves us to the Ace of Pentacles, prosperity, success, bounty, and calling forward wealth. This is God's source spirit, however we see the divine, the universe, saying this is the gift you need to plant, to nourish. This is what moves you forward. This is what brings you wealth, prosperity, success, bounty, abundance. This is what changes the game. And so here we take it. We nurture it. We take it within our hearts, because it is a seed of prosperity for the waking world, but it's also a seed of prosperity for our inner selves, to say, this is my wealth, this is my desire, this is my abundance, this is my joy. And then we have ourselves absolutely taking this gift, because right after we have the magician, the elemental aspects of our world and ourselves coming forward. The earthly elemental aspect is definitely taken. We are grounding ourselves. We are planting our feet firmly on the ground and connecting. And it sounds so odd to say that that has an impact and a potency to it. But I've been wearing these barefoot shoes by Vivo Barefoot, if you want to look it up. They are extraordinary, but they let you connect with the earth. And I can talk about them if you guys want me to. They let you connect with the earth in a way that's astounding. That is absolutely astounding. And so here, we are going to see ourselves connecting with the earth, connecting with our prosperity, kind of setting down these roots and saying, I am here for a greater purpose. I am here to, Spirit is saying, to be remembered. But it's not to build monuments to ourselves and carve our names on them, which we have been doing for infinitum. Like, since we could construct big buildings, people have been carving them, constructing them, placing them together, and writing their names on them to say, remember me, remember me, remember me. It doesn't matter if nobody remembers us, even though that is a very intense thing to say. What it matters is that us walking upon the earth has made an impact with the earth, has made an impact with the energy of those that we have met. And people will remember through the field, through the higher energy vibration, through the fact that we claimed our thoughts and our instincts and our ideas and our ideals. And we moved ourselves forward in power and in passion and in determination. And it brings us to the Fool. It's saying, take that leap of faith. It's saying, it's time to jump. It's time to go after what we have always been called to do. Why are we holding ourselves back? The emotions will be rocky, most definitely. We might doubt ourselves in the way that we move forward and think, I can't do this, or what the heck am I doing? But this is a time where it's like, go for it. Go for it, because if not now, then when? And if not you, then who? Who gets to hold your dream? Who gets to make it a reality? And why can't it be you? Embrace the prosperity, the abundance, and the bounty that is yourself. And it moves us then to harmony, to temperance, to, in the waking world, finding a balance which comes into conflict with the battles of the Five of Wands. So on one hand, in the waking world, we have this balance, we have this clarity, we have this insight, and then we're going to be shaken by the chaos that comes in, by the act of fighting, or the thought that I have to continue fighting, this chaos, this doubt, this discord. Temperance says, I find balance. Temperance says, I steep myself in the balance, the insight, and the power of myself, of my emotions, of my desires, of where I want to be, of where I need to be, of what I want for my life and what I want for myself. I come to balance with the spiritual and the practical. And we have to let the practical not take over, not be the bully and say, I get to have all the intention. It moves us then to what the moon has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels. Self-reflection. A new start is coming. So we're very linked to the new moon in Libra, because this is new moon energy. Through self-reflection, during the time of balancing the spiritual and the practical at our very root, we see a new start coming. We see ourselves gaining ideas, opportunities, insight. There's going to be power in the silence, which is not something that our world likes. We like there to be a lot of noise there. We like there to be a lot of chaos. What we're going to find, it's going to be the silence, the spaces of the in-between the words that are said, in between the moments of activity. That's where we're going to find ourselves and our alignment much more powerfully than ever before. It moves us then to action in our inner self. Nothing is yet set in stone. So it's so interesting because we have the standing stones, right? In the Four of Earth. We have the standing stones coming, and then through action of this planting, of this inertia, this sense of I'm standing here, I claim this, I am formed, though slowly and steadily, but I am open, I am not stagnant, I am not denied. It brings us to the fact that nothing is yet set in stone. We ourselves are not stone. We are the path forward of the powerful mind and the brilliance of a mushroom, which is so overlooked and so underappreciated, but yet so astoundingly powerful and such an intricate part of the forest, such an intricate part of the world that we live in. It then brings us to release. And through release, prosperity lies ahead. Through the release of always planning for the future, through the release of worry, through the release of not nurturing the seeds, of nurturing what it is that we want to grow, what it is that we expect, what it is that we bountifully move for and forward to. Prosperity lies ahead. Bounty guides us. And this connects us with, here we have the new moon, here we have the immutable moon, and here we have the new moon in Taurus. There's going to be, again, this power in the darkness, in the sense of the place in between the light. It then moves us, and we can even find that it's at night where we get our best ideas, where we fall more in alignment with what we desire. The masculine comes into play. And it says, don't let your pride get in the way. When the masculine comes into play, it's not putting down the sacred masculine. The sacred masculine is astoundingly important, just as the sacred feminine is. As we embrace the masculine aspect of ourselves, as we stand forward and say, this is my prosperity, this is my abundance, this is what I need, this is what I want, we need to be mindful of letting pride take over, of saying want, becoming everything, of saying this is what I need to prove, becoming everything. We need to step back and say, I'm embracing the masculine energy that is connected to this earthly plane, that is about forging, that is about conquering, that is about, moving paths forward. And I'm doing so connected not with the ego, but with the sense of conscious appreciation for what is being built within my life. And understanding that some things, some roads that we try to walk, we might not be meant to walk. And that's okay. We change, we adapt, and we move forward. We evaluate and we move forward. It moves us to our subconscious Luna message, which begins with blossoming. We are blossoming into ourselves. We are blossoming into our energy. We are blossoming into the beautiful music of the songs that we get to sing within our lives, and the energy that raises us up, guides us forward. And it says here, it is time to take action. So we have one full moon in Leo, the sense of, determination, focus, pride, being mindful of pride. This is also going to be very important if we're born on the cusp of Leo, or if we have Leo within our chart. Here with the new moon in Aries, again, the darkness comes in. It is time to take action. It is time to align. It is time to act, but not with the ego, with the curiosity of accomplishment, which I don't know how you necessarily get rid of the ego completely, and I don't think anybody who lives ever can. There is always jealousy, there is always, a sense of I need to accomplish this. But if we can become aware of it, then we can step back from it when we need to. This then brings us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is forgiveness. This is the heart chakra. And what we're being told here is to forgive, not necessarily others, but profoundly ourselves. Because it is so easy to just keep pushing forward, to say, I forgive those who have hurt me. I move forward and people go, oh, that's so great. That's so wonderful. But have we forgiven ourselves? We need to look at ourselves in a way that says, I see you and you matter. I'm connecting with you and you are powerful. And so when we forgive, we look at the fact that we couldn't change things. We were too young. We were too naive. We were too in love. We were too this. We were too that. And we let that become a realization. And we say, all right, I made these mistakes. I made these stumbles along the way. It wasn't an easy road. But remember the story of the mustard seed when it comes to Buddhism. When the Buddha says to this woman who has lost her child and is grieving so tremendously, and she just wants the grief to be taken away. She just wants her son back. And he says, find one neighbor who can give you a mustard seed and has lived without grief, and I will grant you your heart's desire. And she went from house to house to house. Asking for a mustard seed, they said, sure. Saying, but I need to know that you didn't have any sorrow in your life. And they said, oh no, let me tell you of my pain. Let me tell you of my grief. Understanding that grief, suffering, pain is an integral part of existence. Because without it, we don't know compassion. Without it, how can we understand the hardship and the pains and the hurts and the despairs of others? It is through the rocky roads. It is through the hurt. It is through the devastation that we find the road to compassion. And it moves us to the energy to be mindful of. And that is the star. This is Aquarius energy. This is being mindful of the dreams becoming so intense, of Neptune really coming into play and saying, the dreams are the everything. It is only the dreams for which we live for. No, it's also the moments in between. It's also, and I say in between because it's the moments in between dreams. It's the moments of existence. It's the moments of expression. It's the moments of reality. It's the moments of voice. That's what's powerful. And then the dreams come into play. And then we see ourselves in our balance with the waking world and the subconscious world and the spiritual world. And we see that there is power here. We see that there is purpose. And we see that divinity is guiding us not to what we want, but to what we need. And it moves us then to our subconscious rooted energy. And that's the chariot. That's us. At the very essence of ourselves, we are moving ourselves forward. So yes, we are being told to be mindful of our energy, our intentions, our actions, because they are so powerful. Because we are so driven and focused and insightful and distinct. We are moving forward to what we need. And here we ride, this lion that looks like Leo. So is this the chariot, the Cancer energy riding into the Leo energy that is the next zodiac sign? Is this a sense of our hearts riding into courage, riding into inspiration, focus, ideas, determination to make them a reality on the earthly plane? I think that is a beautiful coming together. This is the subconscious and the subconscious of Cancer, the conscious of Leo. There's an amalgamation here that is going to be powerful. And it's going to come up during this time in a way that I can't really see, but in a way that's going to be intense for us. It moves us then to our inner self. And this is the craftsman of Earth. This is us shaping and forming our world around us. Here we have the blacksmith. And that is what they did. They shaped and formed the metals of the earth. That's what they still do today. And this is going to be us forging our earth, forging our inspiration, forging our desire, forging our focus. What are we creating and why? It will take time, most definitely. Even the easiest things when forged take time. And as we forge our inspirations and our desires, as we forge our path, we see more clearly ourselves. It brings us then to our emotional self. It's the Nine of Swords. Overthinking, overanalyzing, and not living in the moment. That's going to be something that we really have to be mindful of. Our public arena self. Subconsciously is justice. Being discerning, letting certain energies in, finding balance within those energies, finding balance within ourselves, knowing that justice isn't just the letter of the law. It is, or white page, black print, having everything spelt out a very certain way. It's being discerning about the energy that gets to affect us, that gets to move us forward, that gets to be a part of us, that gets to guide us, that gets to inspire us. Being very mindful of the energy we let in to our realm of being, of knowing when to walk away and when to stay. All right, Cancer. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power of this full moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Cancer, and may you have a blessed moon.